Hi, my name is Lily Cruz, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my marketing plan pitch for Empowered Volleyball Academy. So to begin, to give you a brief profile of my client's Empowered Volleyball Academy started by Will and Ashley Robbins in 2015. The whole concept that set them apart from other volleyball clubs in the area is that they wanted a Christ-centered environment, developing not just the athlete athletically, but also the person behind the athlete spiritually, mentally, etc. And they have both an indoor and beach program for their athletes. They also have a nonprofit that raises money for kids who can't afford to play club volleyball to have that opportunity. The coaching staff, many of them have played professionally and overseas, so they're very high-end and knowledgeable coaches, but they also still have an intimate family atmosphere. And they currently market through Facebook, Instagram, and their website. So some client needs are an improved social media presence and someone to really run the accounts and take advantage of that, and to also increase club memberships. And then we would like to see more participation in events and fundraisers and more kids that are in the indoor program translating over to the beach program because there's not quite as many kids in the beach program, and also just to spread some awareness. So currently, Empowered relays information, they share images, they've attempted some Instagram takeovers during quarantine, kind of like a day in the life of with a given athlete. But they still struggle to motivate their audience to generate content, to have user-generated content, and they also kind of stick to these cheesy graphics and animations that you might consider kind of spammy, so we'd like to steer away from that in our ideal state, which would be to encourage more user-generated content, to portray that family and Christ-centered environment that sets them apart from other clubs in the area, to prioritize athletic, spiritual, and emotional development, and to attract more athletes to both the beach and the indoor, and to just continue to encourage a positive word-of-mouth traction among staff, parents, athletes, etc. So currently Empowered was targeting more Generation Z on their social media, but I'd like to see a flip into targeting Generation X, which is their parents, who are actually the paying customer when it comes to club volleyball 99% of the time. So that middle to upper class mothers from the Midwest with a bachelor's degree or higher, we're looking at ages 34 to 50. And this target audience believes in education, so this is ideal because if Empowered is indeed able to help athletes get recruited to play at the next level, which would be college, they're getting a college education by playing at the next level, so that's an ideal target audience. And they also tend to be hesitant with trusting social media channels and brands, but once they do follow those brands, they're very likely to purchase from them because they are twice as more loyal to brands than their baby boomer and millennial counterparts. They have typically moderate political views and moderate savviness with technology, so they're just kind of right in the middle, just that kind of like that middle child, quote unquote, of the generations, but they are still very self-reliant. So some goals I'd like to achieve for Empowered Volleyball Academy would be to generate a sense of family. So tangibly, this would look like having at least 50% of club members regularly attending these family events by November 2021. The second goal would be to inspire outsiders to appreciate the community Empowered and want to join. So this would tangibly look like an increased club membership by 10% in the next year. And then third, to encourage indoor volleyball players to participate in the beach program, which we'd like to see a 25% increase in beach volleyball participants by next summer. So the tactics I've chosen would be Facebook, video marketing, and traditional mail. And I chose Facebook because it's a great way to create shareable content. You can like and share, it's right at your fingertips, and you can create brand transparency, which would establish trust with an already skeptical target audience. Gen X also spends an average of 54 minutes a day on Facebook, and it is the most popular social media platform for Generation X. And 7 in 10 Gen Xers actually follow a brand's social media and end up buying from that brand. I chose video marketing because video is proven to outperform photos by 73%. It's more likely to be shared, so if we're blasting out these videos on YouTube and Facebook of these testimonies being shared, it's much more likely to gain traction with the audience. And Generation X appreciates stories, authenticity, and realness, and I think video is a really great way to encompass those concepts. You can share testimonies. We can have girls sharing how Empowered has impacted them, and that will evoke empathy within the audience. Traditional mail is ideal because Generation X, while they are starting to become more technologically advanced, they still appreciate traditional snail mail for both personal and professional reasons. So we'd like to send out a monthly newsletter about Pro Beach Juniors and a quarterly brochure that dedicates 2/3 of the brochure to beach volleyball. We'd also like to just continue to split our time between both traditional and new media, because that's how Generation X spends their time. And we'd send the mail directly to home rather than work, because there's usually a third party sorting through work mail, so we'd want that to go directly to the home. Here's an outline of our schedule and budget for Empowered's marketing plan. As you can see, it's color-coded, and the cheapest options would be the snail mail and Facebook. If we wanted to hire somebody to run social media expert, that would be a little more on the pricey side. Video marketing would demand more financial funding because we would want to get the equipment, but once we had the equipment, we could bust out several videos, blast them out on all social media platforms, and it would be very fruitful, and we'd make that money back quickly. Some methods to evaluate to make sure that our objectives are being met would be surveys to the Generation X mothers in our target, both within and outside the club, asking questions about what they'd like to see out of Empowered. And then the focus group, I would like to make a group of 12 mothers from Empowered that are currently Empowered moms and ask them questions about their experience. And then a questionnaire would be random through phone call to mothers all throughout the city. And we would ask specific questions as well about what they have experienced at previous volleyball clubs and what they'd like to see done differently. I think Empowered should choose this plan because it reaches the paying audience rather than the kids. It improves social media engagement, eliminates the spammy graphics, produces shareable content, and really hones in on their target and applies to the fulfillment of their needs. Thank you so much for listening.